What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of TMP with my special in-studio guest today, no other than 212 Mr. Olympia, the giant killer, Mr. Shaun Clarida. What's up, champ?
DJ, what's going on?
Yeah, we got to give you some props. We got the champ is here.
Champ is here, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I get goosebumps. Look, I'm not even bullshitting. I'm not even bullshitting because I followed you this whole time leading up to the Olympia, and you told me what was going to happen.
A month ago, I reached out. We were talking, I think, on IG, and then you reached out to me, and we just started talking like this. I'm hungry. I'm bigger than ever. This is my year.
Yeah, and I remember we had a conversation before the Olympia. I'm not even talking about the conversation we had literally just before you walked out. Before you walked backstage to warm up.
Yeah.
You know, I remember we had a phone conversation. Look, I'm still getting goosebumps. We had a phone because I love stories like this, man, where things happen for people. I just love it. And do you remember you said? Because we said something about we talk about sponsorships, and I remember you said you asked me for some advice, and I told you, listen, you got like a month out.
It's like 3 weeks out.
3 weeks. I said, listen, just wait.
You said
because if you don't place if you place top 3, he said, I won't place anything less. He said, I remember you told me. And at the end, everything worked out for you.
I remember the word. You said, just wait. And I'm like, all right. Dennis said, just wait. Let me just hold up, focus on the show.
Right.
And let things fall how they may.
It couldn't have went, it went perfect.
Yeah.
So now, I want to go back because I want to know who is Shaun Clarida, really. Because, a lot of people know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't even know where you're from. So that's why I love to have you on this show because I can ask you questions like a fan.
Yeah.
Like, Shaun Clarida. Shaun, how old are you?
38, actually.
So you're 38 years old. You look like you're in your early 20s.
I wish I still was.
You look like it. Not only your face, your whole body, everything's still young and fresh.
Yeah. So I think they say black don't crack, I think.
I know. I heard that a couple of times. So you're 38 years old. It means you've been around for a long time.
Yeah, man. I've been bodybuilding now 16 years.
You've been bodybuilding for 16. Where did you grow up?
Born and raised in New Jersey, Hackensack, New Jersey.
Okay, so you're still there.
No, I'm still in New Jersey, just living in another town. But I still go back. My family's all still in Hackensack. So yeah, I'm a Jersey guy, man. So
what made you want to be a bodybuilder? Because your height is not a common height in bodybuilding. No. You're pretty short. How tall are you?
I'm 5'2", but everyone says I'm 5 feet.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? You're so big, you almost look as wide as your height. That's why you look maybe shorter. Because people tell me all the time. I say, I thought you were much taller when they see me. So you 5'2". That's my wife's about 5'2". So what made you do? I'm trying to figure out. What made you say, I got to go to the gym? What was it because you were short and were people looking down on you and thinking you had to prove something in order to get some respect? What was the reason for you to bodybuild?
Well, I've always been into weights. I remember my father had a set of dumbbells in his office that I would just sneak in there when he was at home and start lifting them, not knowing what I was doing. I just wanted to pick them up and put them back down. And then obviously weight room was a part of a requirement for gym class in high school. But again, I wasn't taking it serious. I'd go in there, kind of kill time, moving some weight around. Wasn't anything fun. It wasn't until college when I got serious with training. I was 110 pounds, and I was a wrestler.
I was just about to say, you were probably wrestling in the early days.
I was a wrestler, and the lightest weight class in college is 125. So the coaches said, if you want a chance to start with the 125 class, you have to get bigger.
Right.
So when my teammates were running to cut weight, I was forced to go into the gym to train. So that's kind of when I started training more, about 5 days a week, and that's when I met a bodybuilder by the name of Tom Garuba. Old school 70s bodybuilder. He was never a pro, but he was a really good amateur. Showed me all his videos, all his trophies, and I just kind of got like, wow, that's awesome. And he said, you have a great physique. You ever think about competing? I'm like, honestly, no. It's never been something I've been interested in. I've seen videos and photos. It looks cool, but that's not something I'm interested in. But I let him persuade me into kind of doing my first show just to kind of try it out. Again, I was still wrestling at the time. I was still doing wrestling practice, still doing all the drills, still training. I was eating 3 or 4 meals a day, cafeteria food, not weighing anything.
Right.
I just ate clean for what I thought was clean at the time. So he kind of prepared me in 3 months. It was January 2005. We committed to a show, which was a local show from my house. It was actually the 2005 NPC Mid-Atlantic Natural Classic. 3-4 months later, I found myself doing my first show, and literally, Dennis, that night, I made a commitment. I'm quitting the wrestling team and going to pursue bodybuilding full time. I literally fell in love with that whole process.
So that was after your first show?
Right after the first show.
You cut the buck. You said, literally, this is what I want to do.
Just being on stage and being backstage and the whole process of going from this to that toward that final package, everything just kind of just like wowed me.
Did you ever think back then that I'm just going? I love to do this, but did you ever think that because you're not the tallest guy that it's going to hold you back to have real success in bodybuilding? Did you ever think? Did that ever cross your mind that I might not be a good bodybuilder, but I'll just do it because I love it?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I didn't even know what a pro card was back then. No joke. I just love competing. I literally did, I think it was like 3 or 4 shows within a month. Because I just, there's a show, I was going to it.
Were you still natural at that time?
Still natural, yeah.
So obviously great genetics.
Yeah, I was just driving to, any state that had a show I was going to, any city, whatever. I just loved the process, again, just getting on stage. But it wasn't until the following year, in 2006, is when I kind of got more serious. I turned pro as a natural athlete at the natural leagues. One guy's like, hey, you think about getting a pro card maybe at the next level? I was like, I didn't know what that really meant as far as IFBB went.
So you weren't following bodybuilding? You didn't know like the Olympia? You didn't know any of the stars?
I didn't follow any of that stuff.
So you had no idol?
No idea. I couldn't tell you who Mr. Olympia was at the time.
Get out of here. In 2006, you didn't know who was Mr. Olympia?
Serious.
And 16 years later, you Mr. Olympia yourself.
Honestly, again,
That's crazy.
I never followed to that extent. I didn't know really what the IFBB even was.
Right. But I figured if you start competing and you fall in love with the sport, you didn't do no research about the best bodybuilders in the world. Looked up to someone like the Giant Killer, Danny Padilla, these little guys, short guys.
Again, it wasn't until about a year later when I started really getting more serious into it. That first year, I had no idea.
Okay, not the first year. But after that, you started doing some research.
Absolutely. Marvin Ward, who was a local guy for me. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
That was one of the guys I looked up to because he was like 4'11" and was just thick and big and full. And he lived literally half an hour from where I was staying. I never met him, obviously, back then, but he was one guy I looked up to. Then I found out about Dexter Jackson. He started off as a bantamweight like myself. Correct. Grew up to be one of the best bodybuilders in the world. But it wasn't until then when I really started taking it more serious, focusing on getting bigger, really making improvements, and really dieting the right way.
So how much were you weighing that time when you did the first couple of shows?
My first show was 118 pounds.
118 pounds.
I mean, I was just lean, mean, nothing, no muscle.
You probably still had your shape was probably already there.
Yeah, it was still there. The arms were there. I still had good, decent legs for my height and weight. They were shredded. Obviously, at 118 pounds, they should be shredded. But yeah, it took me a while. I mean, that second year, I was about 120 pounds. Just year by year, I just put on 3, 4, 5 pounds.
Yeah, so you never made those huge 20, 30, 40 pound jumps. So you took your time.
Yep.
And it shows. I mean, I think that's why you are where you're at today, because you took your time. 2006, it was 14 years. So when did you make the switch over to the NPC? What year was that?
Well, during that whole time between 2005 to 2009, I was obviously learning more about the sport and the IFBB. I was friends with guys like Jose Raymond, Fakri Mubarak, all those local guys, and they were kind of trying to pull me into going to the NPC Nationals, getting a pro card. Like, you'll kill the bantamweight class. I still wasn't ready. I still didn't feel comfortable. I decided to make the switch in 2011. So I was like, I'm gonna make this jump, make this leap, and go for it. 2011, I came back. I actually did the same show I started with in 2005. My comeback into the NPC, which is the NPC Mid-Atlantic. So 2011, NPC Mid-Atlantic, same show I started with. I actually won the bantamweight class in the overall, and I was about 130 pounds back then.
You won the overall at the okay.
Yeah, I won the
so
overall.
This is how you started off. So
that's how I started off, and then I went to Bad France, Atlantic States, won that. Team Universe, won that.
So you pretty much used to winning. Well,
it wasn't until the Nationals that year where I got smoked. Completely smoked.
When you said smoke, where did you place?
Last call out. It kind of it's a high.
Nobody would understand what it means to be called out in the last call out until you stood to the very end, at least once in your life. I remember what that feels like.
That hurt. Because you go from winning.
It hurts only if you don't expect it.
Yeah.
It hurts when you come into the show thinking your shit is right on.
Exactly.
I'm going to fucking smoke these
And everyone's telling me you're going to kill it. Like, all right, I'm going to kill it. And then I got killed.
They keep calling. and then they make the first call out and you be like, okay. I mean, it's close. It might be close.
I'm coming with it, yeah.
And then there's a second call out. And then you're trying to get the judge's attention. I said, hey, man, are you forgetting? Or did you overlook me?
It hurt, man. But it fired me up because as soon as I got back home that Monday from it was in Florida, I think, the time, right? Yeah, Florida, when they had the Nationals that year. I got back home, got right back to work, and came back the next year and won the class and won the pro card.
See, I like how you take defeat, not only defeat, it's almost like embarrassment, and take it and go back to the gym where others would probably say, you know what, I might be too short for this. They just don't like me. They're trying to find an excuse, not to turn it around and just use it as fuel and come back even better.
Exactly.
So that's why I can appreciate you doing that. And so from then on, pro card was of course the first thing. And when did you get the name Giant Killer? Or who gave you the name? 2006.
Again, I was competing in natural leagues. My friend Clarence McGill, he was a natural pro.
So that was in the very beginning.
Very beginning. Okay. Actually, it's a funny story because, again, Clarence McGill gave me the name. So I did a show, and I actually won my class and the overall. So I had beaten the lightweight, the middleweight, super heavyweight, the 9 yards. And I actually beat his client in the show. He was preparing a heavyweight for the show, and I beat him. So he came backstage like, hey, congratulations, you're a Giant Killer. I'm like, thank you. And that name just kind of stuck from there.
Okay, because I'm bringing this up because I remember, I didn't know it was 2000, but it had to be very early, in the probably late 2000s. I think David Henry, who was known as the Giant Killer at that time, contacted me about, Shaun Clarida. I didn't know who Shaun Clarida was. I said, he called himself the Giant Killer. I'm the real Giant Killer. I can say this because it really happened.
Yeah.
So, and I remember I said something, I posted something, I don't know, was it on something
Facebook.
That you mentioned? Was it Facebook?
I saw the post.
I really don't remember what it was, but I remember in order to help out Dave, I said something. I didn't disrespect you in any way. I just said something like, to be the Giant Killer, there's something, I don't know, similar to like you got to earn it. You can't just call yourself a Giant Killer, especially if there already is one. You know what? Listen, you proved everybody wrong. You are the Giant Killer, and you've been killing giant ever since you competed. So, whatever I said back then, I apologize.
No, it's all good. I appreciate that.
Now, turn pro.
Yes.
Now, we got Shaun Clarida being an IFBB pro. When did it kick in for you to say, listen, I think I can take this really, really far. I could be Mr. Olympia.
For me, seriously, it was, to be Mr. Olympia, I would say 2014 when they made my debut in New York. Now, the New York Pro is always a show that I've watched as an amateur. I would go every single year. This is when it was held in Beacon in New York.
Right, Night of Champions.
Yeah, exactly. I would go and watch it every single year. And I said, one day I'm going to be on that stage and I'm going to win that show. And then 2014, I made debut there. I placed 13th. Again, I was just a brand new pro. I was still way underweight. I was like 150 pounds, literally. And I just, every year after year, I kept coming back, and I kept getting better. I went from 13th to 7th to 3rd to 2nd, and finally winning it in 2018.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and, for me, when it really hit that I could be Mr. Olympia, I think it was, honestly, the first Olympia, 2015 for me was, again, a rough start. Brand new to the Olympia stage, never did it before. 2018 is when it really set in for me because I was in that first call out with Flex Lewis, David Henry, Jose Raymond, Ashkenani. That's when it's like, I'm in this first call out. These are the guys I looked up to that I was watching on YouTube when I was doing my cardio as an amateur. I met Flex in 2008 at a local event, and I was just mesmerized. And I said, this guy's amazing. I followed his journey, and he's somebody I looked up to and watched. But being now on stage with him in that same call out, man, that was it for me. That was motivating. And that was the year that he made his last 212 show. That was 2018. And then for me, it told me, like, I'm in this first call out. Like, my time is coming. Like, I can win this, And obviously that next year, the title was wide open. And I was hungry as ever to come back better and improved on my 2018 package. And obviously, Kamal was the champion. I took 3rd that year. And, I always told you, I don't go backwards. Like, I'm not going to place anything less than what I've ever placed. Yeah. That's always my focus.
I remember 2019 because I had you nothing worse than 2nd in 2019. Yeah. For whatever reason, Derek Lunsford, he was off of prejudging, and he came back much better for the finals. I guess it was enough for him to beat you for 2nd place. I thought in the morning it was between you and Kamal.
Yeah.
But that's why I realized, because I know who you are, but I didn't really pay close attention to what you deliver on stage until 2019. Because when people listen to how much you weigh, and in 2019 you were what 170?
169.
169. So when you hear somebody gets on stage at 169 when the class is 212, which means most of these guys in your class are barely making weight.
Yeah.
And you're with 169, and people say, like, hey, there's no possible way. Until the clothes come off. This is the fun thing. Guys, believe me, once the clothes come off, it's a different ball game.
Absolutely.
So, but I know it's got to be. What does it feel like for you? You know, because I remember when I turned pro, and when I not only when I turned pro, but when I was in the presence of greatness backstage. You know, and some of these guys are taller than me. Some of these guys are huge, and I feel like and when you backstage, you think everybody's bigger than you.
Oh, always.
What does it feel like for you? Because you got to look up on everybody. It feel like there's all monsters around you.
I try to like go in a corner and be by myself. Like you saw me backstage this year, I was away from everybody. I like to be around people. I kind of like because it kind of throws me off. Like you said, you're backstage with these big guys like Jose. I remember when I first Olympia, it was Jose was next to me warming up. I'm like looking at him like, fuck.
Guys, these guys got 40 pounds on you.
Literally, and it's muscle.
I know.
And that's like it was discouraging. I'm like looking at myself, looking at him, like shit, this isn't good.
I know. That's what I'm thinking, because if I stand next to a guy who's a little bit taller than me and outweighs me by 40, 50 pounds, I mean, it's like. But then again, they don't know what it looks like when your clothes come off, and this is what I'm impressed with your package, especially the one package you delivered at the 220 Mr. Olympia that brought you, the Olympia title, 212 Olympia. Now, I remember it was like maybe 20, 30 minutes before they called you guys backstage. You were sitting in the back room all by yourself, just like you just mentioned. Yeah. And I remember, how you doing, man? You good? You said, yeah, man, I'm good. Everything's right. Everything's right on. I said, I'm 8 pounds heavier.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
And I remember, how you doing, man? You good? You said, yeah, man, I'm good. Everything's right. Everything's right on. I said, I'm 8 pounds heavier. 8 pounds is a lot of muscle. People don't understand. I don't care if you 150, 170, 300. 8 pounds on any frame is a lot of muscle. So, and when people say, they put 8 pounds of muscle on, but yeah, right.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, yeah.
So, but what I also noticed that you're kind of like we were with Rami. You trained all the way up to the show. Because I saw you when we were together. Yes, I went to the gym with Rami because I said, listen, when something is working, you don't change it. Well, keep doing what you're doing. The last thing you want to do a couple of days before the show is sit in the room and pray everything goes well. Yeah. Just keep doing what you were doing. Yeah. Training, you were training, we were training, we were doing our thing, and everything worked out perfect. So you knew what was going on. So how scary was it for you to, or you and your coach, because it's teamwork. Yeah. How scary was it to please, let's make sure we don't fuck this up?
Honestly, Matt believed a week out. When he saw me a week out, he's like, this is yours. Like, he believed, for me, for us, we're like, I don't know, maybe not, I'm not sure. But he believed a week out that it was everything was come together. I just kind of put everything in his hands, let him do, what needed to be done, and I just do it. So basically everything was done. There was no crazy changes, no depleting, no all loading and all that stuff. You cruising? It's pretty much the same thing we always do. Like, pull back a little bit of the water, pull back a little bit of the protein the last day. We don't really need it. Monitor the carb. For him, he was there with me literally he stayed with me while I was in Florida. So he gets to see me every single minute. So I'll have a meal. I'll relax for a little bit. He wants to see me pose. And he'll map out the next meal and the next meal. And that's how we go from there. Yeah, that's the same thing we did with Rami, because he was with me. I made him post so many times. Yeah, because you can see certain meals change in physique. Exactly. So you can eliminate things that you don't need, and you can say, okay, this is what happens when he eats this much on this amount of food, and that works perfect. So now you go on stage. You're still backstage now. You still see all these monsters around you. Yeah, of course. You're still confident, but absolutely. Walk me through what happened once you warmed up. They called you guys out for the mandatory, and you see the reactions of the crowd. What did you feel? That was it for me, the reaction from the crowd. Because for me, I've always seen a 118-pound guy. I don't feel like I'm always good enough. But hearing the crowd response and my team yelling and everyone kind of like, wow, like what the, that was like, well, shit, we brought it. And then, it wasn't until we got back to, obviously that first call out, I didn't know where I was. That final call was 4 guys, myself, Derek, Kamal, and George. Honestly, I didn't see myself as top 2. I thought maybe I'm in the top 4 somewhere. Didn't know. So you didn't feel like, oh, I'm in the run here. No. Honestly, no. I mean, I got back and saw a few videos and from photos, but again, you never know. You know, because you could be in the middle the whole time, but end up placing second or third. I've seen it happen many times. And honestly, that night at the finals, you know, we didn't do anything drastic. We got back to the room. Matt's biggest thing for me is relax and just get rest. So he literally said, we're not going to eat anything much, eat something very small and go sleep. He didn't want me hanging around anybody. He kind of put me in a room by myself. I slept for maybe an hour, got up, posed, and then he said, you're on the money. Let's just do this. Got back to obviously the venue.
Did you ask him for what he thought after prejudging?
No matter what you tell me, I'm still not gonna believe it. He's like, dude, you're in the money. You're in the running.
Did you know anything about the score sheets after prejudging?
No.
See, I knew it.
I heard it was close.
It was you were behind 1 point.
Bob told me that on Sunday.
You were. I know it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were behind 1 point after prejudging.
Yeah.
And you were ahead by 1 point after finals, which means you made up 2 points.
Wow.
So this is how close it was. But was it really that close? In people's eyes, if you go by the audience, and I was there.
Yeah.
You know, and Kamal was better than the year before.
Exactly.
So that's another thing that I got to give you props for. You beat a champ that came back improved, not only in size, overall, he was better.
Well, that's why I thought I was going to, well, obviously that final call out I knew was just Kamal and I, but I felt because he was improved that I want to take second tonight. Because again, he's a champ and he's improved. He's not worse than he was. So usually when you're a champ and you've gotten better, you're usually going to, take the title again. And I felt like, okay, he's going to win because he's better.
So at no time in the whole competition where you, like, even when they count down, you didn't think that you got this?
Dude, I was baffled when they called my name.
We looked like it.
I was like shocked. Again, at that very moment, I was like, I'm taking second tonight.
Yeah.
Literally at that very moment. And it wasn't until hearing and knew that it like hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, it sure did because you went down. Yeah, you went down.
That old school Ronnie.
Yeah, but I don't think that was planned. I think it just happened.
My emotions took over. I didn't know what to do at that point in time. I literally sat there and I cried because I thought about all the years it took to get to this point, all the naysayers, everyone that kind of doubted me, and like I put in so much work over the years to get to where I was at. Many people didn't believe. I've always believed that I can do this.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, there's no way you can be in the gym and do what you have to do if you don't have a goal that tells you, it's all worth it. Because it comes with a lot of shit. It's just not just the training. It comes with the diet, the food that you got to put in. I mean, you got to eat tremendous amount of food.
Yeah.
Even at 177.
Even when you don't want to, you have to. Trust me.
So, but what changed in Shaun Clarida's life now? Winning the Olympia. Is there anything, if there is anything different than it was before?
I've traveled so much in the past 4 months. It's been nuts.
You think about it. You traveled so much in the past 4 months, and we don't even have real travel going on.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine if the world would be open, how much you would be traveling?
I've had people reach out to me like, unfortunately, we can't bring you out because of the travel ban. But, man, I've literally been like, I've been to Texas. I've been here. I've been to Florida a couple of times. I'm going to Florida again next week. I'm just everywhere right now.
You would have been doing this kind of travel internationally if the world would be open. So, this is another thing you got to prepare for. As soon as they open up, they want to see you out of the country.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I mean, that's the best thing. But for me, our goal is to hold the title. Like, the first one was great, but we didn't really celebrate it as much. I don't celebrate victories like that, to be honest with you. I always kind of get ready for the next one. And people keep asking, like, how does it feel? Like, has it hit you yet? And I'll be completely honest with you, it never hit me. And I actually had a conversation with Jay Cutler 2 weeks ago. He said, it didn't really hit me until I retired. So he kind of had that mindset where it was like, we won, great, let's get better and get it again next year. Because you're so focused
on doing it again that you can't
so focused. Like, the medal is not even in my living room. It's downstairs in the basement.
And I also realized you went straight back to the gym. I mean, you started training immediately.
Yeah, I would have went back sooner, but it was closed because of the holiday. But yeah, no, I fell in love with the training. It wasn't the bodybuilding shows; it was a training aspect. So I felt like, damn, I haven't really trained in like 10 days. Like, I got to get back to training. And then obviously training meant getting ready for the next Olympics. Like, I just won the Olympia. Now the goal is to win it again and again and again. Like, people asked me years ago, like, what's your goal as far as show-wise? Like, I've done New York Pros, I've done, the Dallas show, I've done all these shows. I say, once I'm in that position where I'm in the Olympia top 5 and I'm qualified automatically, my goal is to just stick it to Olympia only. And now that I've won it, that's the goal going forward. I'm not saying...
So you wouldn't be doing the Arnold again, or...
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I wouldn't do any other show. I would love to do an Arnold if they had the 212. But I gotta be realistic and know that I'm always best at that first show. So I'd rather give 100% to the biggest show of the year, which is the Olympia.
Right. So what changed? Do you realize that people treat you different now? Is that a huge change?
Not in a bad way. You know,
that's what I mean. I mean, before people might not pay you the attention that people deserve.
Absolutely.
But now all of a sudden, people give you attention, and before they didn't even want to say hi to you.
Well, let's just be real. I'll be real with you. My Instagram and Facebook blew up over those couple of days.
Yeah.
Like people I haven't talked to since like elementary school. Like, hey, I haven't seen you in 20 plus years. Like, don't try to come around now. Like, I have a very small circle, and I keep that circle small for a reason. These people have been rocking with me since I even won a pro show.
Right.
And they're up there with me now, so I'm not going anywhere. Same thing with my coaches, Matt Jansen and John Meadows. They've been working with me since, again, I was losing shows back in 2015 and 16. And
absolutely great team, too.
And they stuck with me from here to there, and they've been a big part of this win and success for me over these years.
So who was more happy, John or Matt?
Dude, I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
Like both of them, man. I mean, obviously, John's coach many Olympias. He had a few Olympia wins this year's Olympia. This was Matt's first. He told the story many times that him and Dallas McCarver had to go to win the Olympia. And in 2017, he passed away. And I was his second phone call to Matt when we found out. Flex called him first to kind of see how he was doing. I called him right after that and kind of, my condolences, everything. I hope you're okay. Let me know if you need anything. And I made that. I told him on that same phone call, I'm going to be your first Olympia champion. You deserve that. I'm going to make it happen for you. That was 2017. And we believed that since then. We worked toward that ever since that point. And, I saw his reaction when I won because someone sent me a video of it. He just jumped up. Just fucking lost it.
Yeah, because as a coach, you
know the feeling.
Yeah, he's in you. He's in your body. If you lose, he loses. He feels bad for you.
He takes it very personally.
Yes, and people don't understand. People think it's all about money. Has nothing to do with the money. It's about investing time in a person that you believe in.
Yep.
And I get goosebumps thinking about this shit again. Look, because I know I lived it. Yes. So you invest a lot of time, and you don't invest the time because you get paid. You invest the time because you want to make sure you're at your best because I believe you can win. And this is just, it just shows that when you put the time in, it just pays off at the end.
Yeah.
So therefore I can understand that, when you win, I mean, he wins. You lose, he loses,
Yep.
You feel bad, he feels bad. It's just people don't understand that, And I know he'll probably, I don't know if he got, after Dallas died, I don't know what his situation was like, how he felt about this situation. Because, I mean, it's got to be obviously hard to lose an athlete, not only because he was a close friend, but also as an athlete. And, I know people be writing all kind of bullshit and shit, blaming everybody in the world.
Yeah, of course.
But
it doesn't matter at that point.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you lose a friend. It's not like, people trying to put blame on, and not only Matt, there's other people that people put the blame on.
Of course.
And therefore, I'm glad he bounced back, and I'm glad he is, he's got to be a very mentally strong person in order to go through this and then just keep the dream alive.
Keep
the dream alive. So what's the plan? What's the game plan for 2021? You obviously won, and I ask questions because I know exactly what the situation is like because we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
How do you because it wasn't a walk in the park.
No.
So how do you prepare? How do you put a game plan together to say, okay, we need to win this again? Because Kamal is hot.
Okay.
He's hot. Okay. I talked to him. He's hot. Because when you lose by 1 point, you don't want to accept that you got beat.
Cool, I get it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what is your game plan?
We're not going to change anything. We're going to do exactly what got me the title in the first place. But looking at photos and videos, John and I had sat down, put together a training plan to bring up areas that he feels can be better.
What's that?
A little bit more back thickness, upper fullness in the chest, a little more hamstring, like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I'm never happy with anything. Like I'm ready to grow everything from top to bottom. I know what it feels like to win. I know what it feels to lose. So I've been in this position, and I know Kamal feels the same way. Obviously, he's hungry. I'm hungry. It's just a matter of who wants it more that day. What you saw in 2020 was a great look, great package.
Oh, it was. You remember what I told you?
Yeah, you were chasing that same one. Yeah,
you will chase that package And I'm not saying this to discourage you.
I get it.
You might beat it. Because if you beat it, then I'm going to tell you again, that's the package you're going to charge.
That's what I'm getting at. Everyone says, well, can Shaun improve? Can he get better? I've done that every single year from 2015 Olympia to now.
True.
I've gotten better both in physique and my placings. So who's like, and I'm even more crazy now that I have the title, because it's like, no one's taking my title away from me, period. I have this, I'm going to hold on to it. Flex has 7 titles. I want more than 7. We have a goal, how many we want, and we know what it takes to get there. And we're gonna replicate this year as far as the package, bringing a better package. Make sure the conditioning is gonna be there. I know there's a lot of hungry guys coming up, you know, and like Matt said, there's a target on my back now. But we're not looking. We never look backwards.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But I'm just thinking. For me, as I'm looking at you, looking at the package that you brought, I think, what can he do better?
I will.
What can he do better? That's obvious to the people. You know what I mean? You might see, oh yeah, I got a little more hamstring, I got a little more upper chest, but we don't see that. So what is there? Because there's a difference if you gain 7-8 pounds, or you come back next year with this slightly improved upper pec. You know what I mean? So
we're gonna be bigger. I'll tell you right now, we're gonna be bigger. We were 177 on stage this past Olympia. Matt said we'll be around 183, 184 on stage this year.
I just hope you don't go too heavy.
No, we know that we're a certain number where we're comfortable. Like
that's it.
That's
what they all said.
Yeah,
everybody said the same after they won the first time. Oh, we know, and they don't realize it. Because you're at the point. This is just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you what to do. I want you to win the next 20 years, possibly. My opinion is you are so full everywhere. Now once you get to a point where it's going to do this, then it's going to,
We're very careful of that area. Yeah. Like I do a lot of core work every single day. Matt monitors my digestion. He knows what foods work for me, what don't work for me. I literally have 5 foods when I diet, and it's those same 5 foods because they work for my body. Again, I think this year I could have been a little bit more conditioned throughout the obliques and things like that. Again, that's something that I can work on and get better on, and I will get improved in power.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll definitely be a little bit bigger. I would say Matt said 183. If I'm 3 or 4 pounds heavier, great. I'll take that.
I think you wouldn't have a problem not being heavier at all.
Yeah.
I don't think you would be. If you could bring the same package, the same package.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Like, why not bring the same thing that won last time? Just make improvements to the body parts. If Steve said, hey, you're lagging your calves or your hamstrings, work on those areas.
That's what they told you?
Well, those are the areas we've seen. Like, I know I need to.
Do you still ask when you won the Olympia? Do you still go back and ask for feedback?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
What feedback did they give you?
Well, in 2019, it was
2020.
Oh, I didn't talk to Steve this year.
You didn't talk to him?
No. But usually it's the same thing. Like, just get bigger. Yeah, literally, it's like just get bigger.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you ask to Steve? What do I have to do in order to repeat?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times.
Just to get his opinion.
You're right. I'm still gonna be able to see him soon.
He might tell you, listen, just don't do nothing. You never know what he tells you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a head judge.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, I heard a video he did or interview he did with Generation Iron. He said he really liked that my legs improved a lot. So again, I know from the front my quads are a little bit more dominant than my hamstrings. So that's the one area I really have to focus on for sure, the hamstrings.
What does it feel like being called the mini Ronnie Coleman?
Oh my God.
Is that a compliment?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
I've seen people even put pictures of Ronnie and I next together. Like, I'm not going to repost that, but
because that's that 2003 Ronnie Coleman.
That's crazy, man.
That's the look that you brought, because people didn't expect it.
No.
See?
I didn't expect it.
But I believe what's harder now is to give the people the same thing. Because now they know what you looked like last year.
Yeah.
So now, how much more can you improve for everybody to say, whoa?
Yeah.
So now it's minor changes.
Well, at this point, like you said, I totally agree with you. Like, again, if I could bring the same package, maybe a pound or 2, 3 pounds bigger, if not, just make sure this is in check.
I was just about to say.
Even if I bring the same package, I think it's still going to be good enough to win.
Yeah. If you bring the same package and make the waist a little bit smaller, I think you will look just as crazy with a little more.
And I look wider, I think.
Yeah, a little more wow.
That's definitely an area that I look at the pictures and videos like, just not happy.
It's some transition. Sometimes. It's not all the time.
Okay.
But, because you at that point, you looked like you were exploding full.
Yeah.
You looked like you were so full you didn't need to pump up.
I didn't eat much. I don't eat a lot of food.
I know, but you're probably like me. You don't need much. You know, you can be carb depleted and you're still full. Flat does not exist for you.
Matt says the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy how my body just doesn't need food or water.
Yeah. But it's a good thing, you know?
Absolutely, because there's guys who need a ton of food and then either spilling over or just not enough.
So let's talk about 212.
Yeah.
Okay, we got, of course, Kamal. We got Derek, who has been promising for the last 4 years. Came short every year. It's getting a little worse every year. Yeah. So then we got, name that I want to mention for you to see, just to get your opinion on Keon.
Yeah.
Keon made tremendous improvements in size.
Yeah.
Coming from classic physique, coming into 212. Did he qualify for the Olympia? He decided to opt out to get bigger. And who do you see challenging you the most for the title this year? Out of all the guys, we still got Ahmed Ashkenani, Derek, George Peterson. I'm gonna put Keon in there because I believe he will qualify for the Olympia.
Okay.
And Kamal, who do you think is your biggest challenge? And I asked everybody the same question. You
know, I said this a couple of times. Like anyone who's competing at Olympia is someone to have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Every competitor.
Absolutely.
But the one guy I would say, probably just the one guy, really, I would say Kamal because he's been there. He's been at the top.
Because he's consistent.
These other guys haven't won yet. You know, and so he's probably the only guy that I'm really worried about. I mean, that's not a disrespectful way to the other guys.
No, because he's a consistent guy where you know he's going to be in shape.
And he's a champion.
Right.
He knows how to win. He knows what it feels like. Again, he's been in that position. He knows how to win. So it's my goal to make sure he doesn't win again. But yeah, I know he's going to be improved for sure. Even at his age, it's 50 now. It's crazy.
49.
49, 50.
49, yeah. But he's up there.
It's amazing.
Yes.
You know, but I know he's going to bring it, and it's just our goal to again replicate what we did and just come out hungrier than ever and get another title.
What do you think about Derek Lunsford? You watched him over the years, and you say you saw him. He won the. Didn't he win the USA's, and then he won the Pro Show immediately after, qualified for the Olympia?
Yeah, and
got top five.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see? What do you think he has to do in order to fulfill his potential? I'm not saying winning, but to fulfill his potential.
I had a conversation with Derek. We were actually in Vegas the other day at Flex Lewis's gym. We went to dinner after a training session, and I told him, just as a fan, not even as a competitor, I honestly feel that he should be in the Open. Just because his frame is huge.
Yeah, he's
he's
really
like
big.
250, 255. And I tell him, like, dude, you're so good, but you're losing that look to make the 212. I think, honestly, his potential would be, he knows it. He can tell you that. He's heard it many times, I'm sure, that his best look is going to be around 225 or 230. And he should just focus on bringing his best look instead of focusing on making that weight.
So why do you think he's losing size just to make weight?
Joe Weider's Olympia here in Orlando, Florida. A little bit strange coming out of Las Vegas for all of those years.
Good evening, and welcome to the event that nearly never happened.
There's been an absence of a particular group of people on this stage that are back tonight. Tonight I'm here to say, welcome back to Miss Olympia.
So why do you think he's losing size just to make weight?
Why he's doing it or why it happens?
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's crazy. I know for me personally.
Maybe he thinks he's not big enough for the Open?
If I were in his position, I would probably think the same thing, maybe. Because he's never done an Open show,
but
right?
You don't have to be the biggest guy.
I was going to get to that point, too. Like, I'm the 167 pound. I mean, 177, beating the guys in the 212. I think he has a great look. I think he will definitely do well. I could see Derek in the Olympia top 6. I think he's that good.
In the Open?
Yeah. I think he's that good. But again, it's not up to me. He's got to be here first in order to make it happen. But he's definitely losing a lot of ground because when you've seen videos and pictures, he looks amazing.
Yes.
5-6 weeks out, he looked, 225, 230. But then those last 12, 15 pounds to make 212,
he looks good right now. I mean, in off season again, he looks good right now.
Big boy, yeah.
Yeah, you think switching to Hani is going to make a difference?
I think he might get bigger. You get bigger, working with Hani now, because now Hani has a lot more knowledge.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, Hani is smart enough to kind of get into his head to like, hey, Derek, wherever you look your best, that's where we're going to go, whether that's 212 or open.
I'm glad you say that, because I think, Hani's very smart.
Yeah.
He's very smart. If he sees that he looks his best at 225, and now you got to lose 10, 15 pounds of muscle just to squeeze into a category where you're going to have to be, on a flat side, and sometimes once you get flat, it's only the body parts that are not your best body parts that go flat first. You know what I mean? For him, it was, from the back, he was okay. From the front, he looked severely flat and dehydrated. So, I think Hardy will probably, it's the same thing with Hardy. Hardy was supposed to be 212.
Yeah, exactly.
And he probably said, wait a minute, because once you're not the tallest guy, and how tall is Derek? Probably 5'6"?
5'6".
So you're not the tallest guy, you don't have to be 250, 260, because those guys are 5'10", 5'11".
Look at Bonek.
So, Bonek is probably in his 20s. I don't believe anything about 240, but it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
So I believe that's going to be I don't know. We'll see what happens this year, but I believe Hani will do the right thing. Now, Keon, coming into the 212, do you see him as a threat?
Of course.
What do you think? What do you think he needs to do to win the Olympia?
For him, it's going to be
beat you. That's the only thing he needs to do, to be honest.
I think the only thing that's not on his side right now is just time.
Right.
And when I say time, I mean I've been training, over 20 years. He just started competing, a handful of years ago. Freak, but I think still new. His body's gonna need time to kind of just get that old man look.
He'll definitely be in the future. He'll be a serious.
Forget about it. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll probably be long gone before that.
Yeah, you know what? And you might be right, because he's just really started. I think he just started passing over to the dark side like 2-3 years.
2 years ago. Yeah.
So it's going to take a couple of years for him to fully understand what it takes to be a champ. When it comes to the Olympia.
But don't get it wrong, I honestly have him in the top 5 this year if he's there. I don't see why. His shape is crazy.
If he gets shredded, then I absolutely see his shape is just. Yeah. He doesn't have to be super, super heavy either, because he has that beautiful tiny waist, and he creates a lot of illusions. Just like you create an illusion, and you being 177, it's another thing. You're 5'2". If you would have been 5'6" and 177, you'd be too small.
Yeah.
So, but you're 177 at 5'2" is equal to 212 at 5'5". Yeah. So that's what I want to say for people to understand.
Yes.
Don't judge you by how much you put on the scale. Now, going back, where were we? We talked about the 21 Olympia. There we go. So now, what would happen? I don't even know if I want to ask this question, because this is a stupid question. I've never been in a position like you at winning the Olympia, so it's hard for me. Could you ever even imagine coming back and not winning the Olympia? Something goes wrong?
Man.
That's a stupid question, right?
It's not stupid because it's happened before. I mean, it happened to Jay. Then he came back though and won it again.
I know, but are you mentally you're not ready for that? You're going in winning.
Oh yeah, I'm not thinking about that.
But I'm just going back in time, and I remember I get ready for shows where I was a favorite of winning, and it was always in the back of your mind, what happens if you don't win? How do I act? How am I make sure you don't act stupid? Do you have no feelings like that?
None. At all? I shut the world off when I prep. I don't know if you've probably seen the video. I don't post progress pictures. I train in a bag of clothes. I don't do interviews. I don't care what people do the ratings, like who's gonna place where. I don't watch any of those videos.
Nothing.
I just focus on myself and training. That's it.
How long do you train every day?
So during prep, my girlfriend and I will get up in the morning at 4 o'clock, and we'll do cardio for how long I do that, plus abs, core work for we're in the gym maybe an hour and a half, and then I'll come back at night around 5 and train.
So you train twice a day?
Yeah, and then come back for another 2.5 hours at night to do another round of training and more cardio if I need to, tanning, whole nine yards.
Off season?
No, off season right now just once a day.
Once a day. So you train each body part. How do you break down your workout? Just for people to know, how does a 212 Mr. Olympia train?
So right now, obviously, John has my programs mapped out for me. So we're focusing on right now chest and back being a priority and train those body parts twice a week. So Mondays, I have back and biceps. Tuesdays, chest, shoulders, triceps. Wednesdays, quads with a little bit of hamstrings. Thursday's my day off. Friday, we'll come back and hit back and biceps again. And Saturday, we'll switch it up again and do chest, shoulders, and triceps again.
Chest, shoulders, and triceps.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Well, John feels like my shoulders are very dominant, and I agree. So we don't need to have a day for them. Plus, when you're training chest, you're getting shoulder work anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll hit 3 to 4 chest movements, and we'll throw in maybe 2 exercises for shoulders. Usually just a rear delt and side.
So it's
delt.
not a complete shoulder exercise.
No,
because I always tell people, I was like, I'm a big believer in doing each body part once. Just one body part a day.
That's how I used to train for many years. Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not good to train 2 body parts, but I think it's not good to train 2 body parts back to back. Mm-hmm. I mean, right one after the other. I would do it in the morning and then come back at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I just believe if you give 100% for a body part, there's no possible way I can give 100% for a second body part immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
But the way you explain it, your shoulders are dominant, so you just have to basically
touch them up a little bit. Yeah,
that's okay.
So there's no full day for them now.
So you train 6 days a week?
No, 5 days right now.
5 days.
I used to train 6, and we just had to pull back and give my body more rest. And that's something else I do as well. I did a lot of self-care work. I get every Thursday, my guy Pete comes to my house. Dr. Pete does my Graston, my cupping, my stretching. And then every Sunday, I go see my man Big John, who does all my deep tissue work.
So you do that on a regular?
Every week, especially during prep. And when I'm off season right now, it's every other week.
Right.
Once prep starts, it's every single week.
What does that do for you?
Honestly, people's like, when is the biggest change in your physique? Is when I started doing that in 2017.
Okay.
That's when my body's a lot more rested. I'm getting more blood flow into the muscle. Nothing's as tight. I'm actually able to train a lot heavier without feeling like too much. No injury. I'm injury free. Thank God. Healthy. People don't realize that work again allows you to be able to go into the gym, train freely without feeling like you're so tight and jacked up where you're not able to get more blood into the muscle. So how Pete explained to me, when you're training, you're obviously you're increasing so much muscle that you're not allowing blood to get in. So when you're not allowing blood to get in, you're not getting bigger.
Right.
So him going in every single week and opening that muscle, opening that tissue allows me to get more blood flow, which obviously creates more growth.
Yeah.
So
see, we back in the days
didn't exist.
No. Massages, we talked about it.
But
you were too lazy to go somewhere to get a massage. Too busy.
I feel you.
There was no massage. Stretching, we'll tell people suggest the stretch. But we didn't do nothing. And I gotta say, I was pretty lucky. I had no injuries.
Good.
I never hurt myself in the gym. But I was. If you ask me how many massages I got in my life, it'll probably be 5.
Jeez.
Total. So let me ask you something else, because I know that for me that was a huge factor. Your girlfriend or wife? Are you married? Girlfriend.
Yep.
How much of a support is a? Do you guys live together?
Yeah.
Stay together.
Yeah. Train together.
She follows you. She knows you. She knows exactly what's going on. How much of a support is she, and where would you be without her?
Shit, she's been with me since
Sometimes
my first
we
Olympia,
have to give props to the girls.
Always. She's been with me since my first Olympia. Dude, she's like just my rock with everything, man.
Right.
Like, there's days where I just don't want to get up out of bed or go to the gym, and she's like, we got to do this. Like, she wants this title more than I do sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And again, she's not on stage. She doesn't compete at all, but she goes through the trenches with me, the cardio at 4 o'clock in the morning. She diet with me throughout the year, even though she doesn't need to. Mm-hmm. But she feels like if we do it together, then it's a little easier for me. Mm-hmm. We're training together at night. Everyone's like, you train with your girlfriend? I was like, yeah. Because 1, she probably trains harder than you. And 2, she knows how my body works, how to push me the right way. So
she's your training partner?
Yeah. For the past 6 years.
I have nothing against
No one's going to question that around here.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But that's awesome. So she must be.
Dude,
when you won the Olympia,
she went nuts. I saw the video of her Matt together from behind, and she just lost her dress is going this way. She tore this, then she's just jumping up, crying. Yeah.
Are you easy to get along when you dieting? Or you? No, because this is also a lot of people don't realize not everybody's the same. I thought I was good all my life. I thought I was all my career. I thought I was good till I was good.
No, we don't talk during prep, and it's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally.
So she understands.
She understands it's not easy, and she, I'm sure she gets upset, but she understands this is what happens. This is the process. Yeah. In the beginning, oh my God, forget about it. She thought.
So why are you guys not talking? She doesn't want to talk to you, or you don't want to talk to her?
I don't want to talk because I just don't have the energy.
Right.
And we just did cardio for like an hour, and 4 in the morning, I'm tired. I don't want to talk. It's usually a tour that lasts maybe 2-3 months where it really gets tough. We'll obviously talk in the morning for cardio and at night, but throughout the day, she's on this side of the room, I'm on this side of the room. She'll say, hey, you need anything? I'll be like, no, I'm good. And then that's it, literally. Like, I'm not making this up.
I know. I've been there all my whole career, you know. Yeah. I know exactly what it feels like. And it's not like you don't want to be rude. You just don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk.
I'm the same way. I left the house 2-3 months before the Olympia. I went to the States to train. I was all by myself. That was, for me, the best time. I had to make my own food, which was a little hard. But I didn't have to talk to anybody. I can just sit there, watch TV, and don't say a word.
You know what's so bad? That I don't even watch TV during prep.
Nah.
For me, it's just too much.
So how do you kill time?
Honestly, Dennis, I love to just sit on the couch and do nothing. I'll check emails if I have to, but I don't want the TV on. I don't want any noise.
No?
I don't want any noise in my house.
So even people the TV will piss you off?
Yeah, people don't come over to the house. I don't like people in my house. When I'm prepping, no one's allowed in my house. I don't want any noise. I don't want
Did you ever break
me.
anything? Like you threw a TV out or something?
Shit, did I break anything?
Any rage at all?
I mean, if I did, she won't be home because I'd go in the basement like yell or something. I mean, I've broken down plenty of times. Prep. I've cried. Like, I just don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah.
But then I always told myself every single day when I woke up, like, I could be Mr. Olympia at the end of all this.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of got me through every day.
See, that was the same with Rami. I mean, Rami at the house, he was 20 seconds away from calling his wife, said, buy me a ticket. I want to die at home. He wanted to call his wife, said, buy me a ticket. I want to die at home with my kids. I don't want to die in America. He was at that point.
Crazy, man. You don't realize it.
Yeah.
At that level, at that, when it...
He's never been there before.
Well, for him, yeah, I know that. I've
seen the
videos and stories.
You know what I mean? And that was... And my job was to keep him at a point where it's like, listen, this is just the way it is. It's going to go away.
that dark place he's never been to.
Yeah, so it was hard. So and you do it yourself. I did it myself, But for me, it wasn't really... I had times where I used to go to the gym. I used to bring my food because I was too tired to drive back to the hotel.
I've been there.
Or to the apartment that I had to rent, to eat, and then come back to the gym. I just stayed there. And then you sit there after workout and you eat and you just, and then all of a sudden you just think you need to get up. And for some reason,
you
just can't move. You think it's almost like if somebody would put you on your feet, you would collapse.
I'll just literally, I have stairs in my house. So to get off the couch, I'll literally sit at the end of the stairs and I'll sit there like, fuck.
Do you have that feeling where it feels like somebody just sucked all the energy out of your legs?
I have to just drag myself up the stairs, man. To the point it takes me about 10 minutes to get up the stairs. Not that many stairs either. It's just I don't have anything in me.
People don't understand what it takes sometimes, not only to be Mr. Olympia, but to be a professional bodybuilder. Yeah. It comes with a lot of hard work, man.
It's crazy, man. But I love it. I wouldn't change anything of it.
Right. And we love you, brother. We can't wait to see you come back and defend your title, man. And I believe with the attitude that you have and the work ethic, which I can see, and you show it to the world on Instagram, that you leave no stone unturned. And that's all you can do. The only thing you can do is control what you do. You have no control of anybody else.
Absolutely.
So I want to say thank you, not only for being Mr. Olympia and for keeping your word, telling me you're going to be on top, but for coming here, man, to talk to me in the studio.
Thank you.
I know that you're probably hungry right now, but
I'm good.
You guys should see how swole he is. See, people don't see it in clothes. You don't see in clothes what's really what's under there, and I'm impressed. I'm really impressed.
It's a smaller shirt.
So I appreciate it, brother, man. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Yeah.
And good luck for your prep, man.
Appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome. There you go. The champ.